More than 2,000 years ago, in a land known as Macedonia, a young prince was born who would become one of the most legendary figures in human history. His name was Alexander. The world would remember him as Alexander the Great. Born in 356 BC, Alexander was the son of King Philip II of Macedon, a brilliant ruler who transformed Macedonia into a powerful military state. From an early age, Alexander was taught by some of the greatest minds of his time, including the famous philosopher Aristotle. He learned about science, philosophy, politics, and warfare. But above all, he dreamed of glory. When Alexander was only 20 years old, his father was assassinated. Surrounded by enemies and doubted by many, the young king inherited a fragile kingdom. Most expected him to fail. They were wrong. With unmatched determination and military genius, Alexander crushed rebellions and united Greece beneath his banner. Then he turned his gaze eastward, toward the mighty Persian Empire, the greatest superpower of the ancient world. What followed would change history forever. In 334 BC, Alexander crossed into Asia with an army far smaller than that of his enemies. Yet, victory after victory followed. At the battles of the Granicus, Issus, and Gaugamela, he shattered Persian armies that vastly outnumbered his own. His soldiers marched through deserts, mountains, and unknown lands, driven by the ambition of a king who refused to accept limits. The Persian Empire, which had ruled millions for centuries, collapsed before him. But Alexander was not satisfied. He continued deeper into Asia, conquering Egypt, founding new cities, and spreading Greek culture across vast territories. In Egypt, he was welcomed as a liberator and declared a living god. One of the cities he founded, Alexandria, would become one of the greatest centers of learning in the ancient world. Yet the farther he marched, the darker the journey became. His campaigns stretched thousands of miles from home. His soldiers grew exhausted. Friends became rivals. Trust gave way to suspicion. The burden of endless conquest weighed heavily on both king and army. Still, Alexander pressed forward. He crossed towering mountains and fought fierce battles in lands few Greeks had ever imagined. Eventually, he reached India, where his weary troops finally refused to go any farther. For the first time in his life, Alexander was forced to turn back. He had conquered more territory than any ruler before him, but he would never see his homeland again. In 323 BC, at only 32 years old, Alexander died in Babylon under mysterious circumstances. Some blamed illness, others whispered of poison. The truth remains unknown. His empire quickly fractured after his